What happens when two of the most controversial leaders of the 21st century clash? On one side, we have Donald Trump, the billionaire businessman turned U.S. president, known for his bold rhetoric and America First policies. On the other, Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan leader accused of dictatorship, economic collapse, and human rights abuses. Their battle wasn't just political, it was a global showdown. Who truly had the upper hand? Stick around as we break it all down. The political rivalry between Donald Trump and Nicolas Maduro is one of the most heated international confrontations in recent history. Trump, the 45th president of the United States, was known for his aggressive stance on foreign policy. Maduro, the president of Venezuela, was widely criticized for leading his country into economic turmoil and suppressing opposition. During Trump's presidency from 2017 to 2021, U.S.-Venezuela relations reached an all-time low. Trump's administration imposed severe sanctions, supported opposition leader Juan Guaido, and even hinted at military intervention. Meanwhile, Maduro stood firm, maintaining alliances with Russia, China, and Iran, while painting Trump as an imperialist enemy. Let's get started. Trump's sanctions and maximum pressure strategy. Donald Trump's administration launched a maximum pressure campaign against Nicolas Maduro. The U.S. government imposed harsh sanctions on Venezuela's oil industry, cutting off its primary revenue source. Additionally, Trump froze Venezuelan government assets in the U.S. and banned American companies from dealing with Maduro's administration. These sanctions aimed to force Maduro out of power, but they also worsened Venezuela's economic crisis, leading to shortages of food, medicine, and basic goods. Trump's supporters saw the sanctions as a necessary step against a corrupt regime, while critics argued they hurt ordinary Venezuelans more than the government. Some experts believe that while the sanctions weakened Venezuela, they also pushed Maduro to strengthen economic ties with rival superpowers like China and Russia. The sanctions also led to the rise of an extensive black market, where illegal oil sales continued through shadowy transactions. The recognition of Juan Guaido. In 2019, the Trump administration made a bold move by recognizing opposition leader Juan Guaido as the legitimate president of Venezuela. Guaido, the head of the National Assembly, declared Maduro's 2018 re-election fraudulent and claimed the presidency under Venezuela's constitution. Trump's support for Guaido was backed by over 50 countries, including the European Union, Canada, and several Latin American nations. However, Maduro, with the support of the military and allies like Russia and China, refused to step down. This created a political stalemate where Venezuela had two competing presidents, leading to internal chaos. Despite the widespread recognition, Guaido struggled to consolidate power within Venezuela. The opposition movement, although initially strong, lacked a unified military backing, which allowed Maduro to remain in control. Over time, international support for Guaido weakened, and by 2023, his interim government had dissolved. Military tensions and coup allegations. At various points, Trump hinted at military intervention in Venezuela. He famously said in 2019, "All options are on the table." There were also multiple coup attempts, with the most bizarre being Operation Gideon, a failed 2020 plot where a group of mercenaries, including ex-US soldiers, tried to capture Maduro. The operation failed miserably, with Venezuelan forces killing and capturing the invaders. While Trump never sent US troops, his administration provided covert support to the Venezuelan opposition, funding media campaigns and coordinating with regional allies like Colombia and Brazil. Maduro used these events to claim that the U.S. was meddling in Venezuela's sovereignty. Economic collapse and the Venezuelan crisis. Under Maduro, Venezuela faced one of the worst economic collapses in modern history. Hyperinflation reached over 1 million%, millions of people fled the country, and poverty soared. Trump's sanctions made things worse, as Venezuela couldn't sell oil easily, leading to fuel shortages and blackouts. Maduro blamed Trump and the U.S. for Venezuela's suffering, while Trump and his allies argued that Maduro's socialist policies and corruption were the real causes of the disaster. Global alliances and diplomatic warfare. While Trump isolated Venezuela from the West, Maduro strengthened ties with countries that oppose the U.S., including Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, and Cuba. Venezuela received economic and military support from these nations, helping Maduro stay in power despite U.S. pressure. This geopolitical struggle turned Venezuela into a battleground of influence between the U.S. and its global rivals. China increased its investments in Venezuelan infrastructure. Russia provided military aid, and Iran sent fuel shipments to bypass U.S. embargoes. The role of socialism versus capitalism in their ideologies. At its core, the Trump versus Maduro rivalry was also a battle of ideologies. Trump championed capitalism, free markets, and private enterprise, while Maduro clung to socialism, state control, and redistribution policies. Trump frequently used Venezuela as an example of why socialism fails, while Maduro framed Trump as the embodiment of capitalist exploitation. Trump's Republican allies in the U.S. Congress often use Venezuela as a cautionary tale, warning Americans against socialist policies. Meanwhile, Maduro used populist rhetoric, portraying himself as a defender of the poor against U.S. imperialism. This ideological battle played out not just in Venezuela but in political debates worldwide. The Trump-Maduro media war. Both Trump and Maduro are known for their media theatrics. Trump used Twitter to attack Maduro, calling him an illegitimate dictator. Maduro, in response, frequently aired anti-U.S. propaganda, blaming Trump for Venezuela's struggles. The battle wasn't just fought in politics, but also on screens worldwide. The 2020 U.S. election and its impact. Trump's defeat in the 2020 U.S. election significantly impacted Venezuela. While Trump took an aggressive approach, Joe Biden's administration shifted tactics, focusing more on diplomatic engagement rather than pure economic pressure. The fate of Venezuela under Biden. Biden eased some sanctions and attempted negotiations, but Maduro remained in power. Venezuela continues to suffer economically, and the opposition remains weak. This raises the question, did Trump's hardline approach make a real impact, or was Maduro always going to survive? The legacy of this political battle. The Trump versus Maduro conflict highlighted the complexities of U.S. foreign policy and the resilience of authoritarian regimes. While Trump's aggressive tactics put significant pressure on Maduro, they also pushed Venezuela further into alliances with U.S. adversaries. Maduro's survival despite years of U.S. intervention raises a key question. Did Trump's strategy weaken Maduro, or did it ultimately strengthen his hold on power by making him a symbol of resistance? So, who really won in the Trump versus Maduro showdown? While Trump managed to cripple Venezuela's economy and rally global opposition, Maduro held on to power and even outlasted Trump in office. Their rivalry was a perfect example of modern political warfare, fought through sanctions, diplomacy, media, and global alliances. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more geopolitical analysis. Thanks for watching.